So good morning, family. Good morning, Unity of Palm Harbor, as we welcome you to the third Sunday of Advent. And what does it stand for? Love. Love. So I want to share some love that y'all have shared with me for anyone, because you do really special little things that touch my heart. And if I don't say thank you enough, I get cards, I get little written reflections. Someone gave me popcorn. Someone gave me limoncello. I just want you to know Jack Daniels is my friend. But all these little tiny, the angels, the little things that you do throughout the year and now at Christmas time, from my heart to yours, the sentiment really touches me. I talk to other ministers, things that one of them went through a loss of a parent, and the congregation did nothing. And I'm just doing what I do, and you do what you do so very well. So in this season of love and giving and sharing, I want to say thank you to each person present. You don't have to bring anything. Just check in with me, tell me how you're doing. So I also want to share, there was a letter that was sent out to each person who has donated over $50 to say thank you, to hold the high watch for our congregation in the new year. If you have any of this generous giving bubbled up inside of you, we say thank you. Yes, thank you. If you did not receive a letter, it's simply because we have no record of it. It doesn't mean you're not putting some cash in the basket, but the only way we know that you're giving is if we can track it. So whatever floats your boat, floats ours too. We want to say thank you for all of your generosity. I like that. Add love to everything. That's like add butter and bacon, it all tastes good. Except not for the vegans. I guess unless you're doing plant-based bacon. But I love that. Add love to everything. How many people at some point have had a plant in the room and you talk lovingly to that plant because you know it's also going to feed you back that beautiful oxygen that we desire? Now, I don't know if you say something ugly to the plant, if it's going to wilt, feed me, Seymour. Or if it's just going to burst wide open anyways because you're sharing a vibration. Add love to everything. Thank you. So we could go so many places today. The Gospel of John is recognized as the Gospel of love because love itself is mentioned more times in one little book of the Gospels than all the other three combined. And we had this discussion with some of the ministers. And what does that mean? How do we bring those teachings directly into who we are and make it applicable? So if you remember, part of John says to love thy neighbor as thyself. And I think about the journey of Jesus as a mortal man walking on the planet Earth. And if you're not familiar, John talks about there's this wise man, Jesus, who walks by John the Baptist, who is busy doing John the Baptist things. And what was he doing? Baptizing, preparing the way. And he had his own disciples. Did you know that? His first disciple that we hear about in the Bible was Andrew. And they don't name who the second disciple is with Andrew, but John the Baptist sees Jesus walking on by. And Andrew goes, I think I want to go see what he's all about. And he says, hey you, Jesus, what are you doing? And he says, come and see. Come and see. So Andrew represents strength in the 12 powers that we're going to talk about on Christmas Eve. So strength is also that courage and willingness to experience something new and different from where you've always been. It takes a certain amount of stamina, strength, to be a part of, to witness something new. So when we are in that pattern interruptus of letting go old things, old paradigms, old ways of being, we sometimes need the strength and the courage to experience something new, to even open our minds to something new. And we know that Jesus represented a new divine idea. He said, I came to fulfill and then go beyond. So what if your mission in life was not just to fulfill, but go beyond your mind's imagination? Just blow this world apart with your energy in a loving, supportive way. How would that feel? So we know Andrew is the brother to Simon Peter, who eventually becomes named Peter through Jesus naming his disciples. Now remember, Jesus chose his 12. We know there's many more than 12. We can see that in different passages. But who are you choosing to support you on your path? Who are you intentionally choosing to be part of your inner circle, to lift you up, to feel into your crazy, wild, wonderful ideas and not put you down? So we have Simon for strength, and we have Peter. What is Peter? In the 12 powers, what do you think Peter represents? Faith. So now we got strength and faith, the two brothers, and they're following Jesus. And Jesus is walking around, and all of a sudden he sees sitting under the fig tree Bartholomew. Some of us know him as Nathaniel. Bartholomew. And I'm like, I had to look it up. What is so symbolic about sitting under a fig tree? Does anybody know? What other beautiful mystic reached enlightenment under a fig tree? Buddha. And they sometimes call it the Bodhi tree, right? So what I found out, the fig tree represents knowledge, awareness, an awakening. So when Bartholomew, who represents our imagination, he is very well versed in the Bible. At the time it would be the Torah. Very well versed in the prophets. So he knows what's coming. He's expectant of what is about to arrive in this brand new divine idea. He wasn't sitting under a fig tree resting. He was studying. He was preparing. So when you're creating that inner circle, we have to prepare. We have an idea. We have something we want to create. And yes, it's great here on the top, but sometimes we have to do our due diligence. We have to bring our closest allies in to support us in what we want to create, what we want to build. Now, if we keep going down the story of Jesus, we also know in his inner circle of 12, there was one who may not have been on board. Well, doubting Thomas just wanted to make sure he was real. When he glowed in the afterlife, if you will. But by us having a doubting Thomas, it does open up our perception of, am I on my own little merry-go-round? Or if people punch holes in it, where do I need to shore up this divine idea? So we need all these characters. But the one I'm talking about, the famous one, who gets a really bad rap is who? Judas. Now, if you think about this, God comes in the form of man, both divine and human, walking this planet Earth. He knows what his journey is. Does it really matter if a Judas showed up in his life or not? He knows that to have one seed planted is only one plant, but to put it back down in the earth, it will multiply and germinate and create much fruit. So when we look at our congregation, we look at our social circles, we look at our businesses or organizations, if it's only one person leading the path, when that one person is gone, what happens? It falls apart. So if we look at this as a group, a bonding, a community who gathers together under an ideal, under a vision, then it's not any one person that holds this group together. It is the whole group. And that's what Jesus understood. He came as the divine idea to share it with everyone, and he also knew he was only going to be here a short time. Many of the academics, many of the scholars, many of our Bible resources do the whole what if scenario. What if he hung out for his entire life? Would the movement have flourished? Would the movement have actually ended with one person? Because the people who spread the message have been deeply influenced by the vision, by the mission. We saw and we heard and we read about miracles and we go, that's really cool. And then Jesus really challenges us. These things I do, you can do, and more. That's some big news. So when we're talking about this loving presence This let me shed my life so that others might live. We don't have to go back in the pagan days. Sometimes you have this beautiful ideal out there, and you've done your part of the ideal, and now it's time for someone else to light those candles. Take that fire, take that light, expand beyond the one person's vision. For one person who controls everything, like we said, it will die with them. And we're not here to create just for ourselves, even though sometimes it feels pretty good, but we're really here as a collective consciousness to build something greater than ourselves, to be a part of something greater than ourselves, because it will live beyond our physical presence. And I don't know about you guys, maybe I've been here before, maybe I don't, but somehow the memory just went. So I don't know. But if the vision and the mission continues onward, it spurs a life of its own that other people can be enriched by it. So I want to share a little story. This was published in 2007, and I'll get some of the parts of it right, and probably some of the parts of it wrong. But this takes place in an airport, and maybe some of you have heard it before. There's a little Palestinian woman, and she's on a flight, doesn't matter where she's going, but there's a delay. And over the intercom, there's announced it's going to be a 4-hour delay. And this little tiny woman, everybody else does that, oh, you've been in the airport and do that, oh, everybody with me, oh. So we're disgusted, come on, you paid it. This is probably the hub of the darn headquarters. Why they can't get another pilot in and get the next flight out, we don't know, but that's not our business. They're going to take your money and put you in an itty-bitty seat and make you live with it. So there's a 4-hour delay, and everybody's kind of ugh. And this one little tiny, tiny, frail woman wails, crumples up in a heap, and just wails. And over the intercom, they said, is there anybody here who might speak Arabic? And this one woman raises her hand, and she comes forward. And her Arabic's not really good, but haltingly, she begins to speak to this elder woman. And the woman calms down. And the woman has to get this flight because she has a medical condition and she's got to be in this certain city and have a procedure the next day. And she didn't understand what they said in English, and she was afraid the flight was canceled. So this lady sits with her, takes her hands in her hands, and she says, who was going to meet you at the airport? It was her son. So let me call your son. So she calls her son. And just for fun of it, she calls the other 2 sons too. And the lady gets to talk to her other 2 sons. Well, just for the fun of it, she calls her own father. And her father and this lady talk for about 20 minutes. They know 10 people in common. What are the chances? What do they say? How many degrees of separation? 6 degrees of separation. Now this itty-bitty, tiny, frail, scared woman is talking to people who know people she knows. And this comfort level is building. Now this little lady reaches into her little bag, and she has these particular cookies that are native to her country with powdered sugar and dates and nuts. And she pulls out these little cookies, and she offers it to the woman from Australia. And she offers it to the woman from New York City. And everybody takes a cookie. And everybody spreads out powdered sugar everywhere. And they're laughing, and now the little lady's telling stories. And now 2 little girls, an African-American girl and a Mexican-American girl who are on that flight, go to the flight attendants and they open up the juice boxes. So now everybody's having juice boxes and powdered sugar, and they're laughing. Is this the kind of world we would like to be a part of? Where fear may have started, but love shown the way. Love shown the way. So when we are looking at the story of Jesus and the people that he's gathering, the inner cluster, his supportive world, including the doubters, but staying really close to the mission that he knew was true for him, what is our mission? What is our lively mission in this inhabitants right now, in this incarnation? I would surmise it might be what this pink handle represents. What is it? Love. Simple, not easy. Especially those who don't think like we do, don't do things the way we think they should do, say things, hurtful things. Sometimes we walk away and we feel like, did you just not get it at all? And maybe that common denominator is us. Maybe we didn't get how to say the right things in the right way. Maybe we didn't understand how people understand what we're trying to get out. Have you ever had a conversation? I do it frequently. I'm already halfway through the conversation. I don't know why you can't catch up. And people are like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm thinking, well, honey, I already had that conversation in my mind 20 minutes ago. Catch up. So I have to slow down and recognize we don't all hear each other the same way. And that's when miscommunication comes in. That's when distrust comes in. That's when you feel like that inner circle is not your circle. They're not your people. You're not sure if you're hanging out and staying. And that inner work, that growing edge, is sometimes for us to stay planted. Not to run, not to flee, not to look at the group and say, well, y'all just didn't get it, I'm out of here. Sometimes that inner work is about what needs to change in me so that I can be better understood and that I can understand them more deeply. How does that feel? It's challenging. Are we up to the challenge? Are we up for the challenge? Yes. So in 2024, we're going to have this incredible, beautiful ceremony on December 31st at 11 o'clock. We're going to write down everything we're ready to let go of. And that can be physical attributes, but it can really be that hard, deep inner work that you've peeled that onion back, and now you're ready to let go things like judgment, and that you always have to be right, and that you're not listening, and any of those kind of things. You get to write on a piece of paper, and we're going to burn the dross. And then we're going to create what we want 2024 to be.